I'm Wendi Conley, your North Texas Realtor, and I am here today with Roger Williamson.
Williamson Foundation Repair.
And we are talking about, how do we prevent damage, foundation damage to our own homes? So, what are your suggestions on prevention?
Okay, well, prevention kind of boils down to one thing, water. Now, it's tricky to get that balance that we're looking for, but what we want is the soil around the house to stay consistently moist, not wet, not dry, and certainly not fluctuating between the two. So to do that, two things. One, we have to make sure the drainage around the house is proper so that natural rainwater gets away from the house because Mother Nature is not consistent. And then we need to water around the foundation to try to maintain that consistency. Finding that balance of when to water, how often to water, it can be a little bit different for every house, and it's a lot of just kind of playing with it to see what makes your house happy.
Okay, and so for more information, I can send you a link on detailed prevention on your home. If you'll just contact me, you can call me or drop me an email, and I will get that out to you shortly. Another question I have is, so I've been trying to take care of my foundation. What are things that I need to look for that say, hey, I need to call you?
Okay, well, things that tell you that you need to call me are things that you're gonna see anyway. If you start having sheetrock cracks inside the house, particularly ones large enough to start slipping a coin into, if it looks like somebody drew on the wall with a pencil, probably not a problem per se. If you can start slipping a coin into it, even a piece of paper into it, it's probably enough to start worrying about. Doors that aren't working right, either they're not latching anymore, they used to, or they're rubbing or sticking a little bit. That can be an indication of foundation problems. Outside the house, you've got brick cracks, brick that's pulling away from window frames, door frames, garage door frames, things like that. Those are all indications. Last but not least, slopes. If it feels like it's leaning, or your furniture looks cockeyed, or something rolls off of a cabinet or whatever, it's probably got some slope to it, and that may be an indication. However, none of those things in and of themselves necessarily say foundation problem. It's really kind of a holistic approach where you've got to have a lot of different pieces of information that point to a foundation problem.
Okay, so if you are seeing it inside and outside, that would be a time to call.
Good indication.
Okay.
Yeah, good indication. And we are free and we are honest. So, it doesn't hurt to call. It can sometimes hurt not to call.
Right. But if you're seeing like the lines, the separation in the ceiling, where the tape and bed.
Yeah, that oftentimes is more from roof movement than foundation movement, especially if it's a splayed ceiling where you've got kind of angles on your ceiling and it's coming apart right there. That's almost never a foundation issue.
Typically a roof.
Yeah, that's typically just roof movement, and it's normal. That's a weak point, and when we have high wind storms that come through and buffet the roof, the framing moves a little and those weak joints will just kind of rub and come apart. It's
so remember,
common.
you're living in North Texas.
Yes,
the
you
high
are.
Winds and
I have cracks in my house. My wife loves them.
So, again, reach out to me, drop me an email, give me a call if you have more questions. I'm Wendi Conley, your North Texas Realtor.